Hello from ProSpeedflying. We just landed after flying the new beautiful line in this big field, and today we want to make a video lesson about the Speedflying landings. It will include their approaches, the patterns for the approaching, and also will give you some techniques for the flaring.
When preparing for the landing in a new place, the first thing you should do is to walk the landing and to check everything on your own. Make sure there is no hidden cables anywhere, the grass is not too high, there are no trenches in the middle of the landing. Then check weather patterns. If there are locals to ask, it's a very good idea. If there are no locals, spend some time on the landing. Learn how the wind behaves, what time the wind belly switches on or changes direction, and make sure you know what's happening down there at what time of the day. Be careful about obstacles around your landing area. If you have a nice 100-meter landing field, usually it's enough, but if you have trees around it, be careful. If trees are, for example, 30 meters tall, that landing becomes really tight. Look around, maybe you can find a lower entrance somewhere between the trees from where you can build your approach. If your landing has a little bit of a slope, pay attention to it. If you land downhill, your flare will be endless, and if the landing field is limited, that can be a trouble and you can overshoot. In this case, try to build your approach uphill and use the feature of the landing to make a more comfortable approach. Look attentively for obstacles around your approach. Sometimes you can have gray branches of trees, especially when they are naked already, and they stick a lot out in the air, and in shade or in weird light angle, they are sometimes really difficult to see. Same thing with small cables. Just know where those obstacles are so that you can avoid them. Also, never fly with polarized sunglasses. They make cables and tiny branches really difficult to see. If your valley has any extra landings, scout them all. Like that, in case of overshooting or coming in too short, you already have a prepared plan B and plan C and plan D. If your landing is the only option around, check what kind of stuff you have in case of trouble. Maybe in the end of the area you have a pile of rocks or a soft bush. Like that, you will know which side you target in case of overshooting or some other trouble.
The main tool for our accurate landings is our ability to see the glide point. The glide point is the place where you will land in these conditions if you do nothing. In real life it will work like that. If you are looking at your landing and your side angle is getting steeper, that means you're overflying, you're overshooting, and you need to get rid of the altitude making some turns. If your side angle is getting flatter when you're looking on your landing, that means you're too short and you need to get more glide from your wing with, for example, closing the trims, or you need to get ready for the plan B landing if it's too flat. This was the easiest example of the glide point control. Later you will learn how to predict, how to see, how to feel it even during the turns. For sure you need to practice on the bigger landings. On these bigger landings, for every flight you should have a fixed target which you will work on with your landing. And also the good tool to teach your brain to see this glide point is to rewatch your videos. On the videos it's the same. You will see how the glide point, how your landing is going more flat or more steep. And remember, target fixation is a real thing. We always fly where we look, so concentrate on your landing, don't concentrate on the obstacles. How to get rid of the altitude which you don't need for your approach? First of all, you need to decide in advance where is this zone where you will build your approach. For losing the altitude, we are using the snake turns. The higher you are and the more far away you are from the landing, the bigger turns, deeper turns and wider traverses you do, and the closer you are getting to the landing, the shorter and smaller traverses you have, up to the final straight line, which I would recommend to be not lower than around 30 meters. Try to avoid aggressive turns on this final straight line, because you need some time to get ready for the landing, for flaring, and also every turn will speed you up. More speed, harder is to make the decisions, you have less time. You can see on my videos where I'm landing on the tight landing spaces, I always have nice straight line at the end, and I will do only minor adjustments for my glide.
For accurate landing, we always recommend to build your approach from the distance. Avoid flying to the center of the landing. This kind of approach forces you to do some aggressive maneuvering in the low altitudes. This is not a good idea when your landing is small and tight, and this is not a good idea when you are not an experienced pilot. Approaching from the center of the landing is a good idea when you have strong wind conditions. In this case, if you have distance from the landing and you build your approach from the distance, you risk to be blocked by the wind. However, it's quite a lot of wind for speedwings. Another good use for central approach to your landing is when you need to know the direction of the wind of the landing, but there is no windsock, there is no info, so you have to lose some altitude for that. You fly out very high over your landing and you check from which direction you have the wind, and you can build your approach from the side you want. This video is getting a bit longer than we thought it would, so we have to cut it into parts. In the second part we are going to talk about different flaring techniques and some other tips for landings. See you in the second part.